Welcome officially to the annual Atlantic Peace and Dialogue Awards Dinner organized by the Atlantic Institute of South Carolina. It is our belief that this program enables us as individuals to obtain a better understanding of our cultures and in turn spread this message to our respective communities. At this time, I'd like to welcome to the stage the president of the Atlantic Institute. Please give a hand for Akif Aydin. Also, I'll take opportunity to thank to our sponsors. Mustafa, could you bring up our sponsors once again over here? Hayes Law Firm, the Urban League, Greenville Health System, Dry Automotive Industries, and the Greenville News. And I'll take also this opportunity to extend my deepest gratitude to our steering committee members, Jill Littlejohn, Tiffany Santegi, Larry Bagwell, Mayor, Rabbi Mark Wilson, and we have two other committee members, Carol Hayes and Carol Gable. They are not with us tonight. And definitely, I'll like to congratulate all our awardees, Keenel Coltman, Robert Jenkins, Lynn Riddle, and for their contributions to dialogue to promote peace and dialogue in our community. I'll take thanks to all of them and congratulate them for being with us, and it's so honor for us to recognize their achievements. Atlantic Institute is a nonprofit organization whose goal is to promote dialogue among people towards issues that pertain to their lives. Atlantic Institute mainstay is to engage in educational activities about social and cultural matters. Founders of Atlantic Institute are inspired by Mr. Fethullah Gulen's philosophy of dialogue and peaceful and constructive coexistence. We believe that small positive actions can make significant change in our lives. That is what we are about tonight. Kindness without borders. Open our eyes, open our hearts in all our global worlds. The theme of tonight is answering the question of how we open our hearts, doing small act of kindness. I think open hearts are through our actions. It is not physical. It is not something like with our eyes that we do. And I think through doing some small act of kindness without borders, we'll let our heart to be open. It is a universal language, right? Heart is the symbol of love. And if we are able to open it, then the love is going to flourish. And then the love is going to gush out. Then we will love each other. How do we do it? And for me, is through the small act of kindness. And if we are kind to each other, even though with a smile, even though with holding the door to each other, then we'll start love each other. So that is kind of the way that we can start and build the love in our community, such getting together like tonight, to sit around the table, to have conversation, to really melt the ice between and remove the barriers. I would like to invite now the chair of the committee for the Atlantic Peace and Dialogue Awards Dinner, the Honorable Robert Guest, retired family court judge, to come up and say a few words. Give him a big hand, please.
And that is to create an opportunity for dialogue and to, in my opinion, the reason I'm involved in it, to try to establish some understanding and some reconciliation one person at a time, which is really the only effective way to do it.
Well, we are delighted tonight to have Gene Krasilik with us. He is the president of the Premier Foundation, a nonprofit organization committed to serving the world's impoverished. The Premier Foundation also serves as a professional representation company, serving as management and marketing agents for professional athletes and artists, with commissionable proceeds benefiting its charitable endeavors. Gene is also the author of the recently published book, Love's Like a Hurricane, When God Whispers in the Dark.
A lot of times for change to happen, there needs to be this metamorphosis, this time from caterpillar to butterfly, this point in time where you're worked on internally to the point to where you know that you need to do something greater than yourself. Sometimes it takes change for a change. So when I die, and hopefully I'm up there with God, we'll see. I'll see some of you. And I know there's some others I'm not going to see up in there, but I will see some. You could laugh if you want to. Lighthearted. This isn't so heavy. But when I'm up there and I'm looking down, if my life and the people that I touch, this ripple effect, this domino effect, that creates change around the world, if my life is marked by light on this planet, I want to be able to sit up there and look down and be able to see that light in Moscow, Cambodia, Angola, and maybe never been to those places, but I want the ripple effect of my life to be that way. So, well, how do you do that? That's a great question. How do you do that? Aren't we all looking for that? How do we break down those borders? These borders are something else. When you're up there, when God's looking down, do you think he's seeing borders? Do you think he made these borders? Or is it us? Man, we made these borders. We put these walls between each other. We've created this ourselves. Do you think when the wolf goes from Minnesota into Canada that it knows it's crossing a border? How about the lion when it goes from Swaziland to South Africa? Does it know that he's crossing a border? How about the butterfly? When the butterfly flies from Israel to Syria, does it know that it crosses a border? There's a transition there. There's a lot of things we can learn from these animals and these organisms, like a butterfly. Did you know that by the simple flap of a butterfly's wings, because of the sensitive dependency of initial conditions, which means it is a part of the atmosphere, as it moves its wings, it can either help create or help stop a hurricane on the other side of the world. Some of you may have heard of that before. It's called the butterfly effect. But how in the world can a butterfly do that? And when it doesn't make any sense. Well, back in the late 1800s, they began to study this chaos theory about fractal mathematics, how everything is so unstable, and how everything in this world, the movements of everything, contribute to other movements. And something as insignificant and simple as a butterfly flapping its wings can change the course of the universe forever. Here's what I do for a living. A few years ago, I was in the Kawangware slum in Nairobi, Kenya. We helped raise a few $100,000 to build a high school. I was there about a month and a half ago, and we celebrated the first graduating class from that high school. So you know what that means? It means those kids don't have to go back into alcoholism, drug addiction, and sexual slavery in their village. It means they can go to university. Now they've got an opportunity. Now they have hope that they didn't have before. I'll know some of these kids, and the vast majority I'll never know. I won't know their children or their grandchildren, but perhaps their grandchildren will do something great. Be the diplomat that really breaks down some barriers. So just simply put, we've all got an opportunity to make a little action that can create a significant result. Something that could seem insignificant can be significant. Here's what I think, and this is what I contend. I believe love is in the eye of the hurricane. I believe love is in the flap of that butterfly's wing. So I'll leave you with a question. How are you going to flap your wings? How are you going to cause a hurricane? What are you going to do to change the lives of somebody that you will never, ever meet? Regardless of what it is, I just ask you to flap your wings. And thank you 3 award recipients for flapping your wings. Well deserved. Have a good night.
give out some awards here. So this is going to be a lot of fun. The Atlantic Institute sent out emails and encouraged people from the community to nominate individuals for 3 awards. A list of people was compiled and then a vote was taken. So the awards here are in 3 categories. The first award is the Peace and Dialogue Award. The second award is the Public and Community Service Award. And then the final award given out tonight will be the Media and Communications Award. So at this time, presenting our first award, the first award tonight is Jill Littlejohn with Greenville City Council and CEO of the Urban League. Let's give Jill a big hand here this evening.
The award is presented to someone that holds a leadership role in government or business, and they use his or her position to create an environment that encourages diversity and cooperation between individuals from a variety of backgrounds, cultures, faith, and traditions. So what I can tell you about tonight's honoree is I can read you her bio and talk about how she's the Chief Diversity Officer at Greenville Health System and University of South Carolina Medical School. I can talk to you about how she has really created and used her job to ensure equity in the system, equity in terms of how we treat our patients, families, and visitors. But what I can tell you is there is a quote that describes her perfectly. And the quote is by Martin Luther King. And the quote simply says, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." And I'm here to tell you that Keneal Copeman is absolutely a ball of love. Her job as the Chief Diversity Officer is not just a job for her. It is her passion. It is her life. It is what she breathes. It is what she feels, her mission in life. And if you don't know Dr. Copeman, you definitely need to get to know her. When we talked about this award and you talk about peace and dialogue, it's very interesting. We were sharing with some people in the audience. She had only been here, I don't even know if it was a few weeks, a month or day, but she ran up to me in an event like this and said, "We need to go to lunch." No, we're going to lunch. And we went to lunch and had a conversation in Moe's on Augusta Street, and we haven't stopped being friends since then. She is a dynamic woman. This isn't just her job, it is who she is, and there's no better person that deserves this award than Dr. Copeman.
And I went to my first semester in college, and I had the opportunity to participate in a dialogue on racism. And it absolutely opened my eyes to social injustice. And it was that time that I made a choice that I wanted to work on social justice causes and find a way to make it into my livelihood. So I'm grateful that I have this opportunity. I'm grateful to the Atlantic Institute. Thank you for your work, your mission. Thank you for recognizing other people in the community and continue your great mission. So thank you so much.
Okay, so right now presenting our next award is a man who we've already heard from this evening, the Honorable Robert Guest, retired family court judge. He will present the Public and Community Service Award here tonight.
He finished his career as a family court judge where he saw families and children in crisis on a daily basis. When he had the power to render justice for those who needed it, he exercised that power with compassion and discretion. When I read the criteria for the Public and Community Service Award, I immediately thought of my friend Bob Jenkins. And I want to read that criteria now. The criteria are that the person receiving this award must make a large contribution to his or her local community, and that he or she must be involved in community service, organizing community projects, and recruiting diverse individuals to participate in community service projects. Robert Jenkins fits that criteria as well as anybody I could think of. He's been a great inspiration to me and a help to me as I serve with him on the family court bench.
Of whatever you undertake. You represent your family, you represent your school, you represent your race. The other part to that is to share your talents with others in your community for the common good.
There is a humble spirit in the room here tonight. It's great to see. And presenting our third and final award here tonight, this award, the Media and Communications Award. Please welcome here Rabbi Mark Wilson. He is the co-founder and director of Greenville's Year of Altruism and Meeting Point, a united interfaith community. So please welcome Rabbi Wilson here this evening.
Now, the award technically is to be a journalist in print, news, television, radio, internet, or a combination of the above, and to dedicate significant time to relating news stories which promote diversity awareness, intercultural understanding, empathy between cultures and religious groups, or cooperation of diverse individuals in community improvement initiatives. The envelope, please. And there's an old Talmudic expression that says that some people can gain eternity through doing something honorable at one moment. If you had no other reason to attain eternity, it is that you were the butterfly wings flapping that turned around the awareness of an entire community to what homelessness is really all about, and about which we saw action that would not have happened had Lynn not been there as a non-advocating advocate. And this, I think, to me, is her signature, far more than a journalist, a person who sees journalism as a calling and who touches, as Dr. King said, the mind, the heart, and the muscle, and motivates us not only to think about an issue, but to start to act on it.
I just grabbed it.
Thank you. Okay, we need to take a... Okay, they've got to put in the bag.
Thank you. It is just an amazing responsibility and an amazing privilege to be able to tell people's stories, to tell the true stories of what's happening here in our community. It's what we, the whole idea of, and many people have talked about, newspapers are dying. Oh, well, what are we going to do? Newspapers are dying. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be here with this group to tell you it's not true. It can happen. It won't happen. It's not even a possibility, because newspapers are our foundation of of democracy, frankly. And I feel like that we have that unusual ability to be able to show people problems, to entertain, to give that the true meaning of what it's like to live here in Greenville, South Carolina in this time. The platform may change, the way we deliver the news may change, but in the essence of it will remain, which is tell the stories that matter, tell the stories that touch people, and just keep on going. Thank you very much for this honor. I appreciate it more than you know.
Many congrats to our award winners tonight. It's been great to spend a little bit of time with you this evening. And, I think what we've heard here tonight is to open our hearts and our minds, I think is what somebody said tonight, and let's build on a better future for tomorrow. So great being with you tonight. Let's drive home safely. Have a good evening.